Hey everybody, happy Monday. We are live in downtown Manhattan, circa 1943, and apparently sitting at an old McDonald's booth here for what is going to be this week, the Monday Fahles. I'm Craig. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks for allowing my little detour on Friday. I appreciate that. But I have a couple of wonderful guests here that I'm excited to have back on the show. And I should point this out. Both of them started out on a different segment that I did called the People's Panel, but I liked them so much I wanted to include them in the Fahles because they were darn funny. Our friend Luna Alexander is with us today, of course, and she is a wonderful, wonderful theater person, which we'll talk a bit about in just a second. Associate Artistic Director at the Slipstream Theater Initiative. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Craig.
And, of course, Nick Rowley, back once again. He's just a generally creative guy. Works on all kinds of cool stuff. Undersea condominiums for fish, concert promotion,
festivals,
theater, all kinds of stuff.
Hit me up. I can make things exciting and happy for you.
There you go. It's the Nick Rowley promotion show here on the Craig Fahle Show. But and Luna, you've got a play coming up. So tell us what's going on.
Well, let's plug it. So we've got The Wolves coming up very soon. Actually, we open this Sunday and we run through the 24th of March. It's a great show. Basically 9 soccer players and a U17 soccer team meet up for warm-ups over the course of 6 weeks. So it's a great show. A lot of young talent, a lot of local talent. Everyone's a Detroit actress from the area. We've got a couple of high schoolers making their debut into the theater scene, so we're really stoked about that.
Well, where can they go to get information and tickets and all that good stuff?
All of that good stuff. Come and check us out, slipstreamti.com. That's the best place to find your tickets and your show dates. And we look forward to seeing you there.
Well, and supporting theater is a big deal, and it's kind of important because I think it is an underappreciated medium in this town. There's a lot of good stuff going on that you don't know about that we are going to try to rectify over the course of the next few months. So I'll let you know more about that when we get closer. But thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate it. And again, it is the Monday Fahles today. And you know what? I was kind of thinking about this. We always do it on a Friday. Everybody's already in a good mood on a Friday.
Yeah.
What they need is some fun on a Monday.
A little boost.
And especially after last week. I mean, last week was an interesting week for a lot of different reasons. But most notably, watching the Cohen hearings. We had, of course, this giant summit with Kim Jong-un taking place in Vietnam and the North Korean leader and President Trump meeting up, which we'll get to in a little bit. But at the same time, and perhaps not coincidentally, the Democrats held a hearing with Michael Cohen to come up here and call basically President Trump a racist, a con man, and a cheat.
Yeah.
And the world collectively yawned, suggesting, tell us something we don't know already.
Right.
I'm not kidding. That was the response. Where's the new stuff? Wait, the president's fixer call him a racist, a con man, and a cheat, and everybody says, well, where's the new stuff?
Yeah, we know that.
I mean,
we know that.
Come on. Where's the P-tape already? Come on.
Stuff.
He did say that it didn't exist. He said it didn't exist.
That's what people want to know. Exactly what?
Come on.
How much?
Guys,
but at the same time, I mean, it's really, after all this stuff that we know, is the P-tape really the deal clincher? If that does exist, we're all of a sudden okay, that's a bridge too far? I
mean... You know what? I want that to be real because I want to see all the statements of oh, urine, it's sterile. It's clean. I don't know. I like my president to be clean. He likes clean things hitting him. That's what he likes.
God, it's like Lysol coming out of a human body. That's all it is.
That's all it is. It's
giant orange loofah full of Listerine. It's great. There you go, guys.
Thanks for that one.
You're welcome.
But seriously, I mean,
takes a woman.
Everybody's like, well, where's the bombshell? And any other president, had they actually been discussing whether or not, I have a signed check that shows he paid me off to cover up his affair with a porn star. Oh my God, this would be news for 8, 9, 10 months at a time, never-ending coverage on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox. That's all they would do. That's all they would do.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see the showdown between Henry Winkler and Ben Stiller for who exactly gets to play Cohen in the Lifetime movie. I can't wait. Bring celebrity, shut down Brack, because I want to see it.
God, he does look like the Fonz, doesn't he?
I mean, it's dead on, right?
Well, okay, yeah. So Michael Cohen does look like the Fonz.
Yep.
And I never really thought about that. I was sort of trying to pinpoint it.
I don't know. Too much Arrested Development. I feel like he's the exact same lawyer. It's almost not fair.
Pretty much.
I mean.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the tweet where, you know, Trump actually goes, I may have committed some light treason.
Well, but here's the thing.
It's maritime law. It's
Cohen,
all good, guys.
Cohen is the lawyer from Arrested Development, but he thinks he's the lawyer from Carlito's Way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sean Penn in that movie,
man,
you know, he's like,
100%.
I'm the fixer, I'm the guy that's keeping you out of trouble. But I mean, there was nothing about this hearing that was, I mean, it was entertaining for sure in a lot of different parts. And what was amazing to me is that nobody defended the president or tried to sit there and say, they just tried to tear him down as a credible witness. That's all they could do.
Yeah.
Because like I said, everybody's like,
yeah, we know.
Right,
We
exactly. I
we signed up
can't
for.
remember who the quote was, but it was like, everyone involved in this thinks they're Michael Corleone. But what they are is they're all Fredo.
A room full of Fredos.
Yeah,
There you
I'm
go.
like smart, like not book smart or street smart or smart, but you know,
I'm smart, Mikey.
something.
I can do it.
Well, but one of the things that was really amazing to me is watching, you know, just how many of the Trump sycophants were coming to play hard the other day. And we can talk about Mark Meadows, of course, from North Carolina 11.
Yes.
Interesting guy. He's the one that, you know, it's amazing. You're talking all this crap about the president all day long and these bad deals he's done and all this kind of stuff. And the one thing they take umbrage at is the fact that, you know, somebody on the Republican Party might be a racist. Shock of shocks.
Ooh.
We've seen this, you know, the blackface with the Democrats in Virginia. We're talking North Carolina here. I mean, I lived down there for a little while. There is still that Southern pride thing going through there. And you know, Mark Meadows saying, how dare you call me a racist? And yes, I just so happen to have somebody that proves that I'm not a racist. What the hell is he thinking?
Craig, he brought a black friend. It's
He
okay.
brought
It's
a
okay.
black
We're
friend.
fine.
Is that his plus one for the day, just in case?
Plus one. You know, Omarosa was obviously, you know, booked. So, you know, it's tough.
How could the president be a racist? Look at this. Look at this
mean,
woman.
what a beautiful way to end Black History Month.
Man.
Then a replication of the Hottentot Venus.
No
I'm amazed he didn't come on, put on a straw boater with a cane and go, look, you ladies and gentlemen, the African American staff member.
Yeah.
Step right up. Step right up.
Christ, yeah.
5
For a
cents.
nickel.
That's right. Well, Meadows was definitely out there and doing this. And of course, Rashida Tlaib from Michigan is the one that really called him
Didn't
out
hold
for
back.
it. Started all this kind of stuff. And she sort of got smacked down a little bit by Elijah Cummings. But for the most part, you know, it was kind of a ridiculous day in that regard. Now, before the hearing even started, this was my favorite Trump sycophant, as long as we're talking about sycophancy here.
Sure.
Matt Gaetz, he is a congressman from Florida, sent out a tweet the night before the hearing threatening Michael Cohen. And he sends out this tweet. It says, hey, Michael Cohen 212, apparently that's his Twitter handle. Do your wife and father-in-law know about your girlfriends? Maybe tonight would be a good time for that chat. I wonder if she'll remain faithful when you're in prison. She's about to learn a lot.
Ooh.
Now,
Middle school call. They want their tweet back.
now that
man.
sounds to me like witness intimidation.
Yes.
Keep your mouth shut. Look what's going to happen to you. We'd hate for your family to get hurt.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. He's a very low temperature, very low level mook that just basically scuppers the big boss's plans.
I mean, he was really big in high school. I don't know if you guys knew this, but like he really like held his own.
Oh,
I mean,
he
was gonna,
ruled that
he
place.
ruled that place, you guys. He was going to tell everybody about the girlfriends. I mean,
he
he
was going
had
to be a
all the
made man.
girlfriends.
He was going to be a made man. He wouldn't have to shine shoes any longer.
Well, fairly quickly, Nancy Pelosi and crew just basically said, we might need to investigate this guy for witness tampering because this certainly looks like a threat to me. It's not even really a threat, though. If you already sit there and say you have girlfriends, is it really a threat or is it just sort of a statement? But at the same time, he then pulled it off, realizing that he could be in some serious legal jeopardy. And then he tweets this out later. It says, regardless of disagreements, family members should be off limits from attacks from representatives, senators, and presidents, including myself. Let's leave the Cohen family alone. Oh, F you, dude.
Really?
I mean, come on.
That is magnanimous of you there, my man.
I mean, I take that. But the best part about it is somebody overheard him taking a call from Donald Trump, who was in Vietnam at the time, talking about the tweet.
Wow.
And what he said, apparently, in response to the president was, hey, I was happy to do it for you. Which, depending on whether or not there is any audio of this tape, which somebody's probably subpoenaed already because those records do exist typically.
Yeah. And you know his phone is easy to access too because he doesn't use any kind of secure phone.
But guys, I'm just proud of the Donald for making it to Vietnam finally. You know, honestly, can we give it up for him?
Thank God he got treatment for those Spurs.
You know, it's tough.
Well, speaking of Vietnam, I mean, you did hear what Michael Cohen said about that. He was talking about Vietnam. I didn't have Spurs. What do you think? I'm stupid? I wasn't going to Vietnam.
Right,
that's what Donald Trump said. So that's the man that supports our troops. My father, who actually did serve in Vietnam, who's no longer with us, would not be fond of that statement.
No, I can't think of many of my family members who did either.
And so, you know, but Gates may be in trouble anyway for doing this. Probably not a good idea to put that out there the night before public testimony in front of Congress.
He was huge in high school, guys. I'm not kidding. Real big. Real big.
Big in Japan, right?
He's big in Japan.
So, I mean, and then, of course, on the other side of the world, depending on which news channel you watched, they were either talking about Cohen or they were talking about Korea.
Right.
Because Fox News, and I've made it a habit, I watch at least 10 minutes worth of Fox News every morning just because I want to know what's going on.
Yep.
They were treating this as if we were basically about to solve.
I mean, mission accomplished,
hunger.
guys.
Yeah,
Remember,
absolutely.
we're back.
I mean,
like,
but that was it.
Perfect.
That was it.
Yeah.
And they're like, look at this, the pomp and circumstance, and, you know, it's such a smart move, bring them to Vietnam so they can see what their path to recovery is and what they could be if they just do this. And, of course, this blows up in about 5 minutes because they say, yeah, we'll take some of our nukes away if you remove all the sanctions. And he's like, well, that's not what we talked about before. And they're like,
I'm
and?
changing the deal. Pray that I do not change it again.
Well, shocked that Kim Jong-un cannot be trusted to actually, you know, live up to.
A man who
Crazy.
feeds
What?
family members to dogs?
After cooking them with flamethrowers.
Yeah, you know.
I mean,
You know, hey, Uncle Bob, you done me wrong. Here's a flamethrower. I mean,
I don't know. I certainly think that's a trustworthy person and fair dealer.
well,
So.
the worst part about it was, of course, the young man who was in prison over there was beaten to death in prison.
Oh, yeah.
You know, President Trump then comes out the other day and says, well, you know, Kim Jong-un, he denied it. And I really believe him that he had nothing to do with it. It was somewhere at a lower level, which becomes the sort of de facto response from this guy about every extrajudicial killing that happens there.
Yep.
Oh, I believed him. He had a very strong denial. I believe him that somebody else carried it out. That's such a crock. I mean, at what point? At what point? If you walk away from the deal, fine. If it's a bad deal and he walked away, that's the right thing to do in that situation.
Sure.
I don't want to give him, you know, and I give him credit for trying to do something with this country because they are batshit.
I mean, I think, again, the problem was the meeting location. If they just met at a Texas Roadhouse, we could have gotten some well-done steaks, slathered it in ketchup. We'd have been good, guys. It's easy. Come on, it's all about location.
Decimated that big old bowl of peanuts.
Exactly. I mean, it's all about context, and you know, he's doing his best. He's really trying, and he made a deal.
Hey,
he made a really great deal. Unfortunately, the other guy wasn't willing to concede.
And you know, there isn't a despot that he
sucks.
wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Well, they must be doing something, right? They have all
guy.
this power.
Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
So they must be telling the truth. People believe them. They're following them.
I mean, they've got a great painter over there, and I think Trump really wants to get that like self-portrait thing kind of going again. I think maybe that's
I kind of
why.
like it because, you know, that was the best thing about the Cohen testimony was that he basically had a straw bidder.
His own picture.
And he said, you has to be the highest bid. The highest bid at the auction has to be on the painting of me, which, by the way, you're giving right back to me so I can put it up in Mar-a-Lago or his golf course down in Florida, wherever the heck it is.
Yeah.
That is just such an outstanding statement of narcissism. It is like the best example of narcissism I've seen in a long time.
I swear to God, if they could come up with something where he's just like peeing champagne, a statue that pees champagne, that would be the perfect.
It would be like a scene right out of The Jerk, you know?
Right. There you go. There you go.
But everything about this week, this past week, and what happened in foreign affairs and with Cohen, it's so surreal. Yeah. I mean, any other president, we wouldn't imagine any of this stuff happening.
Yeah.
Of this stuff happening.
Yeah. Plus, the one person who doesn't showboat, lawyers. Every one of those people on that committee, for the most part, are lawyers of one form or another, except one person. And she's the one person who actually efficiently questions.
Exactly, and she's the one that actually got questions that are going to be able to lead to some new inquiries.
Yes.
You know, Ocasio-Cortez, who everybody thinks is the second coming of Lenin, and so you know we're going straight to hell, everybody, because the communists are coming.
Watch out for those socialists.
But you know, it's kind of funny that she was the one that actually asked the good questions.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, you know, her staff actually worked on that for a long time. I'm like, that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You should be prepared when you go into a congressional hearing with questions that might actually get to something.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, I love that she took.
So she didn't do it herself. She had help from her staff. I'm like, that's
Right.
why you hire staff.
Well, she did deliver it herself, and her staff did an awesome job preparing her, and they worked together as a team. You know, maybe because she pays them enough. Crazy how that works.
I know. They're really
I
actually
love how
justifying that.
She's
no?
always stupid, but until she basically took 3 minutes, asked very excellent questions that are going to lead to some actual new information,
Yeah.
and then went ahead and let go the rest of her time because she didn't need it.
All right, I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
Bye.
All right, enough. I can't handle the crazy. We need to go to the actual crazy this time around. And I should remind folks, this is the Monday Follies this week.
Right.
I am Craig Fahle. Nick Rowley is here with me.
Hello.
Luna Alexander is with me as well. And we do like to get into some of the funny stuff that happened over the week. And this was in Huntsville, Alabama. I
Okay.
love this story.
Okay.
Now, I'm not a huge fan of crab legs. You guys seafood fans?
I love it. Yeah, I'll take
like
sushi.
Red Lobster. You hit Red
anytime.
Lobster
Yeah,
and just
baby.
go for
And
the
not
all you
just
can
the
eat
biscuits.
crab's legs.
Yep,
I have
I'll
a
do
friend.
it.
I have a
I'll
friend
do it.
who will eat crab's legs until he throws up.
Yep,
and
sounds
then go
about
back
right.
for more.
Yeah.
You know, the sort of the vomitorium sketch from
Nice.
Saturday Night Live. Right? Just because he's like, I'm going to get my money's worth.
How
Right.
very rude.
Well, apparently, a restaurant in Huntsville, Alabama, there was a dispute over the crab legs at a dinner buffet, and a couple of people are facing charges over this. Now, the great thing is, it's this place called the Meteor Buffet, which I'm sure is delicious. Meteor, because nothing like a bowl of rocks, you know,
Hey,
to
yeah,
get you going.
really.
The Meteor Buffet, a fight broke out because people have been waiting about 10 minutes for the next tray of crab's legs come out.
God, no.
10 minutes.
God.
10
the
minutes.
hardship.
And apparently, once the food came out, tempers flared because people started jockeying for position and trying to get in the line.
Oh,
and I mean,
man.
apparently there was no line, or maybe somebody took too many, and then it's not going to be enough for me at the end of the line. So apparently, people start fighting, and they each have tongs, and they're using the tongs like swords,
Oh, yes.
hitting each other with the tongs,
Yes.
shattering plates, and a woman was apparently beating up on a guy in the line for the crab
I
legs.
love it. This is
like-
some Pastellini type stuff.
No
That's-
kidding, man. This is what happens when you shut down all the Long John Silvers in the city. I mean,
I
it's
know.
important, guys.
There you go. And you know, Crab Fest, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Isn't that-
telling you that didn't that kill Long John Silver's or something for a bit? It was like that. It was like, we're going to give you
Honey,
all of this, all
Long
you can
John
eat.
Silver's has been killing Long John
Yeah,
Silver's
that's right.
for a
I mean, come
long
on.
time.
Wait, seriously, when's the last time you had a fast food fish sandwich?
I don't know.
Or fast
Yeah,
food fish
a
of any
while.
kind?
Yeah.
It's a while.
I mean, I rarely eat fish anyway.
Right.
And to think about getting like
Filet
a
of fish.
square fillet of fish from
Yeah.
McDonald's is not
Cool.
something that appeals to me.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have a McPigeon.
There you go, right?
Well, talking of Brexit,
Hey.
We'll get to that in just
Yeah.
a second. And we'll stay on the food chain for just a second here. But the woman named Chiquita Jenkins is charged with assaulting a man named John Chapman. He suffered a cut on his head, apparently from being beaten with tongs.
They
He's
are
charged with
sharp.
disorderly
She was part of
conduct.
the Olympic Development Program, guys. I don't know if you knew this. It's a huge program in Alabama.
And then it says court records are not available to show whether either person has a lawyer. I'm thinking it's likely that they will have one appointed for them.
yeah, I feel there's a lot of appointments going on right now. Every pro bono lawyer is like, oh, goody.
Yeah, that one's pretty nice. All right, you want to stay with food for just a second?
can stay with
Because
food.
Nick, this goes to your home country.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
of course,
If you couldn't
Across the
tell,
pond.
Nick is from somewhere in the British Isles.
I am. I'm from Stratford on Avon. I'm from a very
Hey.
pretentious town.
That explains the theater
Shakespeare
background.
land.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Globe Theater. Theresa May, of course, our lovely Brexit engineer and Prime Minister of England.
Oh, she's so okay. So she so didn't want to be the Brexit engineer.
I know,
The
I know.
actual engineer was like, "Okay, I'm out,"
Yeah.
and she's like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" Oh God.
Well, so the interesting thing is they were apparently they're talking about trying to reduce food waste.
Yes.
In England, because food waste is a problem all over the world, right?
Sure.
So much stuff gets thrown away every day, and they're starting to see more commercials about it and more public knowledge of this kind of thing. But she was actually having a meeting with her cabinet secretaries and talking about different ways that they could, help with the crisis. And she's catching a bunch of grief because she admitted that she will scrape the mold off the top of a jar of jam and then eat the stuff that's down at the bottom. To which I started thinking, first of all, I thought jam was just like daily intake, so how does it go bad in the first place in England? Because don't you put that stuff on everything?
Yeah,
right?
pretty much. I'm going to say I don't think that she eats as regularly as other people. I mean, that's a human thing, and I'm not sure Teresa is quite.
Yeah.
She might be one of those things from that, early on in the new Doctor Who series. She kind of reminds me of those things that, like, fit in human bodies and would make farty sounds
like
because
body
they had
snatchers
off-gassing
kind
kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe she only eats a few times and the jam will go off. It's a lot of sugar.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that my mother's a deacon, so we used to visit old ladies and old men and stuff. And I'm sure that when we were over there and the old dears wanted to, make tea for the deacon and her boy, I'm sure that if I'd wandered back into the kitchen, I'd have found them diligently scraping and chipping stuff off. But the more I think about it, the less happy I feel. So I'm just going to go, that probably isn't uncommon, but...
But they just wanted to give you the best of the marmalade.
They did.
From the
they
war.
did indeed.
From the war.
From the war. And that's it, too. Do you know how long rationing went on? We had rationing for a long while. It doesn't matter how upper crust, and I'm pretty sure Theresa May is not exactly salt of the earth. Everyone was rationing. I'm pretty sure she didn't see a banana till she was like,
Well, what I love about the story is the way it's written, too. Because this comes from a British paper. And it's from Sky News, right? And so I have to read this, and I have a horrible British accent, but it says, the Daily Mail says she told MPs gathered in Downing Street on Tuesday that she scrapes the mold off to tuck into the lower layers. A Whitehall source is quoted as saying the Prime Minister described what's left as perfectly edible and encouraged shoppers to use common sense when it comes to binning out-of-date food. Binning out-of-date food. I mean, we do come from a culture where it's like, if it's even close to that expiration date, people are like, chuck it, throw it away.
Right?
We're all going to die. I mean,
crowds of freegans right now are cheering in the streets.
Exactly. I think it's great that there's a Freegan PM. I think Freegan PM.
Dumpster diving with Theresa May.
there you go.
Coming to the Food
It'll be
Network.
like that. That'll be the new British food show. Instead of the
Oh my
chefs,
God!
It's the great binning
I mean,
baking
she's
show.
going to be looking for a job sometime
The
sooner
great
than later.
binning show. I
So,
kind of like it. That's good. All right, let's move this on. I thought this was good. Since you guys both like art, appreciate art, I thought this was good. You remember the story about Banksy putting the painting in and then framing it, and then as soon as it got auctioned off, shredding the thing, which is kind of a fun thing.
Yeah.
Well, you now have a Spanish artist who made a 14-foot statue of the former king of Spain, King Felipe the Sixth. Was being sold for, well, he's currently the king.
Yeah, he's the current.
That's right.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting.
They still do kings there,
But he sold the statue that he made of him for $230,000 with the condition that the buyer has to burn it. So clearly he's trying to make a statement about what he thinks about the fact that there's still a monarchy in this day and age.
Yeah.
But everybody, if you buy it, you have to legally commit to setting it on fire and proving that you set it on fire. And so, but a lot of people who are artists are saying, you can't do this. This destruction of art for the sake of making a different kind of art is something that we got to stop doing.
I don't know. As an artist, I can think of several ex-boyfriends that I would love to make a 14-foot statue of, on the condition that the statue get burned. That would be great.
Okay,
Go for
so
it.
yeah, and also Bill Drummond from the KLF is sitting somewhere in probably in a nursing home, and going, "You hacks! I did this in the 90s. I told the people." I think it was the Whitbread Award. He was like, "I'll give the winner of this prize $50,000. They have to burn the whole damn thing."
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they're really upset about this though, because apparently the king is going to open the art festival that this piece is in.
Oh, that's perfect.
So they're saying it's unnecessarily provocative, and they don't want it to go forward. But we shall see. We shall see.
Wow.
So would you buy it just to burn it? I mean,
Yes.
First of all, that's basically burning money, so you have to be pretty rich to begin with.
Right,
so there's got to be
clearly.
some kleptocrat over there that doesn't like the aristocracy. That's money that they're not getting.
Right.
I swear, Dali would love this,
Yeah,
and
dude.
it
All
sounds
about
right
it.
up his alley. I would love to have the money to do this. I don't know that I'd bid on the thing, but I'd love to have the money that I can afford to bid on it. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you have money to just literally burn, why not start singing "That King is on fire" and just let it happen. Just let it go, and but as long as it's in the middle of a town square.
Wait, isn't that who sings that song?
Alicia Keys?
Yeah, who else sings New York?
Oh, there we
And
go.
that's how
And
we
we
bring
brought
it back,
it full
ladies and
circle.
gentlemen. We are
All right,
back.
let's move on here for just a second. Yeah, forgive me, everybody, for that one. There are a lot of people that are burdened with the name that they have to live up to, right? If your name is Trump and you're Eric Trump, you have to grow up to be
Just an absolutely
whatever you want to say. You
separating
got to say.
asshole.
If your last name is Kennedy, you got to get into politics, right?
Yeah.
This woman's name she's from California. Her last name is Jonah Martinez Meth.
All right, I can think I can see where this is going.
She's 46 years old. She pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter after somebody named Adrian Sepulveda, then 46, died at the California Medical Facility in Vacaville. He's in the Department of Corrections there in jail.
Ooh.
So she basically supplied him with meth when she came to visit him in jail and killed him. He'd swallowed multiple balloons. He had swallowed multiple balloons filled with meth that she had smuggled in, and he was then trying to smuggle them in so the inmates could have something fun to do, I guess.
Sure.
But yeah, so he died. She's now in deep trouble. But yes, you'd think with your name, if your last name is Meth.
I mean, you roll with it.
I thought you were going to tell me she's like a secretary or something. I mean,
No.
come on.
No, she was sentenced to 2 years in prison.
Wow.
2 years in prison. So
That's okay because
he didn't make him swallow the balloons. He did that on his own. So there was not like a murder charge there.
Right.
But,
Gotcha.
so she got busted for smuggling things in there. But
I mean, but it's okay because she'll make a phone call to her one phone call will be to her friend like, Cyril Filing Cake and everything will be superb.
there you go.
Hey.
Oh, anyway, I just saw that one. All right, how about let's go to Tennessee, shall we?
Okay.
Let's do
Always
that.
fun things in Tennessee.
This story, I'm apologizing right now for even bringing this one up because I'm not sure what was going through this guy's mind, because it seems like there are all sorts of things that could go wrong with this plan.
Okay.
But there is a guy. He was a driver for a company called Dinner Delivered, which is like Grubhub, one of these sorts of things, a food delivery service. And a customer had ordered from a Mexican restaurant in Maryville, Tennessee, and he was delivering the food. And apparently, I don't know if he was upset with the customer or did what he was doing, but he made a video of this, dipping his testicles into the salsa before he delivered the food to the house.
Extra spicy. Ooh.
Well, could you imagine if it was like the extra hot spicy made with like Jamaican Hellfire sauce or something? It seems that there could be some sort of
Reverse,
unintentional
yeah.
problem that
It
comes
was
from that.
about that time that I realized they had ordered the ghost pepper platter.
Scotch bonnets on the balls, man. Woo.
Well, here's what the guy said. He makes a video. He makes a freaking video of this thing. And he said, this is what you get when you give an 89-cent tip for an almost 30-minute drive.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Okay.
So it's important. Tip
And then he says,
your
oh,
wait
it
staff.
feels good on my blank.
Ah.
Was he testing the salsa?
Correct. Same.
Sorry,
Shame.
but I mean,
Shame.
so anyway, this guy's now in deep trouble. He was arrested on Friday, charged with the adulteration of food, liquids, or pharmaceuticals.
Is that what they call that?
Yeah, so anybody that spits on your food,
Yep.
adulteration of food,
Adulteration.
liquids, or pharmaceuticals. We had our
Also-
pizza guy here. Remember the pizza guy at Comerica Park this past summer?
Right.
And he got busted for
totally.
the same
I
thing.
mean, also technically adultery with the food. So,
Right, yeah,
If
I
he's
mean-
married, so.
Kinds of.
Adultery. There's probably a law against that in Tennessee. Yeah, anything
You'd
that is
be
not
surprised.
missionary is against
It's
the
against
law.
the law, man.
All right, shall we stay in the South for just another minute?
Oh, sure. it's
Fun.
warm.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it
warmer
is.
than
I think we
it's
should do this because you have a guy in Florida. And last week, if anybody watched the Friday Follies, there was a man who was arrested for throwing a burrito at his girlfriend's head. He got arrested for assault. Well, we have another assault with food case in Florida. This
love
time, the man threw a cookie and got arrested for assault for throwing an Oreo cookie at his girlfriend and hitting her in the face pretty hard, apparently.
Wow.
So I'm trying to think about what is going on. I'm not sure there's a lot that could separate me from my Oreos. If
Right.
I have a weakness,
Right.
if I have a weakness in the food kingdom,
Yeah.
it is Oreos. I will eat a whole package of those in one setting if you let me.
Oh my
I'm
gosh, she
just-
must have done something horrible, man.
I know.
I mean, was it double stuff or was it just like regular?
See,
guys?
double stuff.
That's
Like I say, you'll pry those from my cold dead fingers.
Right,
Right.
yeah. But
just-
more weight to it, you know, if you're chucking
Yeah, I'm just picturing him like separating them very slowly and then just like flinging them like a shuriken.
it. Just the discus thrower of Oreos, man.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah, I want to know what you did. That sounds
Well,
horrible.
I'm not sure there's anything you could do that's worth that. You know,
know.
I don't mean to make light of assault, but at the same time, it's like, all right, yes, last week it was the burrito, this week it's the cookie. I'm just trying to figure out. And we had a fight over Cheez-Its last week, crab legs this
Crab
week.
legs.
I mean,
People
I
are just really
understand.
fighting over food.
It's just, yeah, but you think of people are going to be fighting over food when the apocalypse happens, right? You know, something like that. But right now we're fighting over freaking Red Lobster.
Yeah,
Well,
it's,
yeah.
it's
Or the
Animal
Meteor
House.
Buffet.
The
No.
meteor buffet.
Hey.
Hey.
All right, so we have one more story in Florida here that I want to get to because we're running out of time here. There's a woman who thought she was doing a good deed, finds a stray kitten that's on the edge of the Everglades, and this emaciated kitten, and the cat bites her, and she's worried that maybe she's got rabies because who knows what the heck's in the Everglades, all kinds of
Sure.
weird stuff.
Gators. Yeah.
She gets the bill from the
Yes.
hospital. She gets the bill from the hospital for this antidote kind of thing that they give you.
Okay.
$48,000 to be cured of a cat bite.
Wait, what? For rabies? A
For
rabies shot.
Now, the worst part about it is that she was billed $48,512 for her treatment.
Okay.
But what they said is a 12 millimeter dose of this rabies immune globulin. It's $361 per milliliter. She got a 12 milliliter dose, so the cost should have been about $4,300. Instead, she got billed $48,000. That's a markup of quite a bit. It's like 1,000% markup.
It's a pretty high thing. This was the
100%
one.
markup. Or
this
no,
is-
that's
yeah,
like
no,
what, like
no,
1,000%.
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
1,000%.
Yeah.
This is the one where
As she said, my funeral would have been cheaper.
yeah, and also the price then goes down. So it makes me think that whoever's setting the coding has basically just got a wheel in their office, and they're like,
Spin it.
I feel whimsical. Let's see what we're charging per
It's like
dose
Wheel of Fortune,
today.
but like with healthcare.
Wheels, but no whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
Man, it's like crazy because like Disney got rid of all their gators. They should have been focused on the kittens the whole time.
There you
You
go.
know.
You got to be careful with those. things.
Everglade kittens, man.
They're
Well, look,
dangerous.
anybody that swims in a lake in Florida,
yeah.
it's just not a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
especially the further south you go in that state, gators are everywhere.
Yeah.
And scary stuff. But all right, so how about this one? This is something, and we're going to end with this one because the Food and Drug Administration actually had to put out a warning the other day.
Okay.
They actually had to put something out that says taking a young person's plasma and infusing it into an older person to ward off aging doesn't work.
Okay.
Wait, sorry, like plasma is in
Plasma, like, you know,
blood.
you're young, I'm old. You give me your plasma, I put it into my body, that keeps me young.
Like a vampire? Or?
Like a vampire.
Like a vampire.
Kind of thinking that. That's
Okay.
about it.
Like a vampire.
And
okay.
this is actually really popular in Silicon Valley, where another popular trend is raw water, untreated water, impure water. So the people of Silicon Valley don't want
so the
home
unpasteurized
water.
milk was not enough.
Yeah, exactly.
I want my water
I
filled
want my
with
water
mold.
with no purity, and I want the blood of the young and innocent.
I want to chew my water, you guys. Come on.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
vampires. I think. I mean, how far from Sunnydale?
Well,
is
the great thing is
Silicon
the
Valley?
the company that does this treatment is called Ambrosia, which is just so fitting for Silicon Valley. And they have since ceased the treatment. They're actually saying this is kind of dangerous. Plasma treatments are
figured it
actually
out.
kind of dangerous in general. You should only do this if you're like in an accident or something.
Right.
Yeah, this is not something you should do. But I think there was like a Star Trek movie that had this sort of same theme on it. So
I mean, this is actually how the aliens in War of the Worlds die. like we always get in the movies the thing about like, oh well, God in His infinite wisdom put the bacteria. In the book, they actually gather up humans and inject them like they're mainlining human blood.
Oh.
That's what they do,
Right.
and that's why they die in the book. So they're either aliens or they're vampires.
I mean,
or they're vampire
or
aliens.
they're
Silicon Valley could easily be Martians.
or
I
they're
don't believe
stupid.
that. You've
That
seen
could be
Zuckerberg.
that.
Can we just put stupid in there as what the
Stupid.
likely
Well,
answer to that question?
I
Stupid and
never
rich?
said, yeah,
Stupid and
stupid
rich?
and rich.
Because being rich
Stupid
sounds
and
like
rich.
it helps.
There
It
are a
does.
few of those.
They're
There are a
helpful.
few of those. You know,
There
your
are a
internet
few.
startup company, Plasma.com.
Yeah, man.
Got your $2 billion and went belly up.
Ambrosia.
I'm good. I'm good.
Ambrosia, not just marshmallows
Plasma.com
and
is
jello
now known as
now.
Ambrosia.
Nectar of the gods.
Got their new investor. We're all good. All right. So, Luna, real quick, again, remind people where to go to get the tickets for the play.
Sure. Check us out at slipstreamti.com for more information about our show dates and for ticket prices. Come and check us out. It's going to be fun.
Nick Rowley, thank you.
Yes, and if you want to email me about anything, what's happening, Nick, at gmail.com.
There you go. And I'm Craig Fahle. That's the Craig Fahle Show at gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Got some ideas, some stories that you think we should be talking about on the Follies? Let me know. Send them my way. Thanks for watching today. Thank you, you guys. Had a lot of fun. And, of course, thanks to Michael Lucido once again for engineering this broadcast today. And thanks to this lovely Automat booth thingy here in the lovely downtown New York studios of Deadline Detroit. Whatever.
New York, Detroit.
Nice
19.
pink,
Yeah.
nice pink frame too.
Ooh.
I mean,
Isn't that
this should be in
gorgeous?
Sybil Shepherd's office in Moonlighting. That's what I've been saying all along. All right, we gotta let it go. Have a great weekend, everybody, or actually have a great Tuesday. Today's
Yeah.
Monday.
Have a good
Today's Monday.
Tuesday.
Have a good Tuesday.